be able to challenge a book?
I don't think we should be able to challenge a book for every child in the school. I think we should be able to tell our own kid not to read the book because of our beliefs, or it might have inappropriate content in one part of the book. But I don't think we should.
Us parents can get overprotective of our children. Like, don't read this because it's inappropriate, don't read that because it'll scare you. But we don't have control over other students. So we'll let their parents decide if they can read it or not, but we decide if our children can read it.
We're just trying to protect our child.
As a teacher teaching students about books, I look at the books and see if they have anything that is inappropriate. That way the parents don't get stirred by it or anything, as well as the students don't get stirred by it, because that's what usually causes most of the bad instances.
As a teacher, I feel that I'm only going to choose books that are okay for our students because we don't want them learning too much at this age, but they are growing up and they're going to start learning new life lessons, and included in those books are those life lessons, so they need to learn them. So I think it's okay if it has a couple bad words because it's just a part of growing up and you have to learn that at some point.
Yeah, I think at some point us parents should trust the teachers. They know what they're doing, their job. They're here for a reason.
I agree with Faye because as a teacher, I would look at a book and see like if this teaches like a certain like life lesson or something like that. Like it's a book, so it'll like it might happen in real life. Like some books are based on events that happen in real life, and who knows, like maybe someday like a child will learn about like something they read in a book. Like they'll see it like real life, and like they'll see it like eventually, or they're gonna hear bad words eventually. So it's gonna happen anyways.
I agree because certain books contain content that is currently happening in today's society that I think a student should be able to know about for the future and for the present right now, because bad things are happening as of right now, and I think we should be aware of that.
I agree with Sammy. As a parent, I think I should let my child read a book, like a book that most parents wouldn't want their child reading, because my child might be going through a rough time with other students and they can feel empathy with the book. Depends what the book has in it also.
What do you think, Ray?
I think students should be allowed to read the book because sooner or later they're gonna learn about what's in the book. Like, if it has a couple bad words in it, they're gonna learn about it pretty soon anyway. What do you think?
Okay, so I guess I have one more question for the parents. So, you said that you will try to protect your child from maybe one book that you think is above their level of comprehension. So, is there like a new system maybe that you might have an idea for to try and, so that when a parent challenges and gets a book banned, that it won't affect everyone else?
Well, I think that it will affect most students because they might like the book. But us parents, we might be overprotective of our child and we might not want them. So if we read the book, we might agree with other parents. So we might be able to.
Yeah, and as parents, we know that the teachers are doing their jobs, and they're not making the kids read the books because it's inappropriate. They're doing it because there is some sort of lesson in the book So if there's bad words or inappropriate stuff, they're not doing it because of that. They're doing it because there is some kind of lesson.
Yeah, they just wanna teach
Yeah.
by children.
I agree with Karina because as a teacher, I wouldn't give a book to my students that would contain a big amount of inappropriate stuff. It might contain some, but I know that there's something in the book that will help the students progress through their life as growing up to be an adult, and they become a parent of another child, which they will help to read books that are appropriate for their age.
I agree because books that teachers are going to give us that have inappropriate content, it's just for the sake of education, because some inappropriate stuff are things that we need to know about.
I agree because teachers, when they hand us books, they want us to read it to like learn a life lesson, but they're not going to give us a book that's too inappropriate for our age group, and they're just trying to help us learn.
I want to change the subject. Authors, what do you think? What do you think about parents banning your books? And,
Well-
like, in mostly all the schools, if it's happening in the whole area, something like that.
Okay, well, I guess in some sense it's kind of nice, because then it gets our book all sorts of attention. And in some cases, it just makes students want to read it more, right?
Yeah.
To give them curiosity and like
Yeah.
what is in the book that makes people want to ban it.
Yeah, exactly. What do you have to say?
I feel that like if they don't like what's in the book, they shouldn't read it. Don't read it. Put it down. Don't take that away from other people. Like,
Also, your books might be brought back, like they might reverse the ban.
Teachers, do you have anything to add to the subject?
As a teacher, we try not to choose books that are too inappropriate, again, for the younger age groups, because, again, children are growing up and they need to learn this stuff. And I feel that it's okay if your parents don't want you to read the book, but I also agree that you shouldn't exclude others from reading the book, because their parents might allow it, and they also need to learn this stuff. They can't just be confused about it their entire life. They need to know.
I agree with May because some books contain stuff that the students need to see, such as when a book contains racism. The parents will see that, as the students will see too, that it is bad, and that will make them see that racism is bad, and if we are racist, they will stop being racist because they see that it's a bad thing.
And the teachers, the child.
As a teacher, I would like assign books that would like it'll bring attention to that subject. So like if there was a book about being homeless or something like that, I would like want my students to like try and like help homeless people. So I would like try and bring good into the book, and like hopefully my students will learn from the book and try to do good. Yeah, helping the community.
And it might actually change our society.
So some people's opinions, they do not have to affect everyone. Like some people don't like to help anyone. They like are greedy. So by reading the books, I might change their mind.
Like looking in the book, like, oh, this person did this, and like they felt really good about it. I want to feel good about myself, maybe I should feel good about it too.
Yeah.
I think that when books include a lot of bad language, it's not trying to be a bad book necessarily. It's just trying to express the story a little bit more. And some children think it's funny and go out and do that, but that's not the goal when we choose books for students to read. We want them to understand how using that can express the story a little affect it more.
As a parent, that's probably what I was afraid of. I was afraid of my child learning those inappropriate words and start using them like to be a bad example for other students, and also saying them to other students might be like bullying them also. And I don't want my child to be that way.
Well, I guess the books that contain inappropriate language, students these days hear them all the time, young, old, and I guess some books that contain a variety of it, like a big amount of it, should be at least taken away from younger children, because they shouldn't start saying inappropriate language at such a young age. They should maybe not even start saying it until they're a little bit older than maybe high school.
Yeah.
So, like, what if, say, one teacher chose, say if the parents, like, if their student actually did start using some things that they may have heard in a book, what would you do with the teachers to try and, what would you do to try and solve that? Would you, like, challenge the book, or, because that's what I think most parents do to try and protect their child from those things.
Because I feel that there should be other children or other people reading the book, I don't think I should challenge it. I should probably just ask the teacher to excuse my child from reading the book.